So I am a microbiologist. Well, I can say I grew up in the lab for the last 10 years, so everything was experimental. For me, it's extremely interesting how bacteria act, what kind of interactions they have. For me, it's wonderful. It's it has a whole soul in it. But well, during my PhD, you know that you always, when you're writing an article, you have to somehow say why it would be important. So why would the bacterial interactions be important? And somehow you find this, well, industry, so to say, line in there. We all of us have to do it because sometimes the reviewers just want to know it, and it's your article might be more impactful if you do write this. So somehow through all of our research, we came to this, and I would say by a little bit of luck and maybe a little bit of enthusiasm, we came to the conclusion that our experimental work was actually proving that we have a product on our hands. And it was a little bit of an aha moment, like, oh, okay, now we can actually use this. Why would we actually think about this at all? It's, you want your science to matter. You don't want it buried somewhere. You publish your articles, you publish your dissertation, you do all of it, but still in 10 years, if it's not really impactful, it will get buried. It will be somewhere and somebody will talk about, 10 years ago, somebody did something. But I wanted to do more with it. So we actually contacted, after we started working in the way it should be, we contacted Simona and her colleagues at the University of Ljubljana to help us with this. So it's for the patents and everything, we actually just wanted to know if it's actually possible to do it, because I as a scientist, I had no idea if it is possible or not. It was just an idea. And of course they said, oh yes, what a great idea. And that was for me also very, very positive, a very positive experience working with the office at the university, with all of the people there. There's a lot of help because, some scientists, they maybe have a background in some sort of business. I don't. I came in that completely clean of that. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to do something. So we started with the patenting. And there is a few things you have to know. First, there will be panic with all of your publications. For us, it was a little bit more panicky because we already had master thesis, PhD thesis, articles, everything in preparation. Some of them already published. We had conference papers, so we had to go back to see if any of these things could damage our patent application, and we tried to correct whatever could damage. And there, with the University of Ljubljana and the patenting lawyer, we came up with a few solutions that were good for us. So we went through with it. The next step is to think who is on the patent. So who gave the idea, and you will then come up first for your article. You have 1 million people there, then you reduce it to maybe 10, and after that you actually have to think about who was the concept maker, who made it significant, who actually made you go to this product that you have now. Okay, then you go through all of this. It's a little bit time consuming, but still it's fun because you have a lot of support and actually no stakes. It's a little bit of your free time, but you are not a lawyer. You don't have to do any of these things. The lawyer does it for you, and it's kind of painless. The pain that's starting is when you have to start thinking about market. So if you want to have a product, only patenting it, it's you can do it, I think, I think as researchers, you will have some points for having a patent. You can say you're more prominent for this, but it actually doesn't make sense because we've spent a lot of money on patenting. I mean, the university does, and it doesn't make sense not to sell it. And then you have to find out where on the market you can place your product. Is it inventive? Is it actually can it be commercialized, and would actually somebody look at it? Why is it better than something else? Is it similar to something else and ours was? So why is it better? You have to know a lot of numbers. Also, of course, University of Uganda does help you with that, but your mindset has to change on its own. You have to start thinking about that. Okay, so now my bacterial interactions and mechanisms of action and all of the interesting stuff, all the molecules and everything, it's on the back burner. It's somewhere out there. It's still there. We still love it, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is who will buy it, who needs it, who would benefit from it. So where does it go? How much money can it actually make? Is the competition wide or narrow? Is it strong or weak? So you have to actually think about all of this. And for me, I think the first scary thing that I encountered during this process was an elevator pitch. It was a great experience. In a few minutes, you have to tell everything that is interesting and everything that has great potential about your product without actually saying any of the scientific things. So you have to say why is it good in so little words, but they have to be very concrete. They have to be very strong because you want to sell it. You're selling it to somebody in a short amount of time. And still, the other person has to understand what you're doing. So if I'm saying, oh, yeah, there is this orogenic bacteria that produces some blah, blah, blah. So I can talk about these things hours and hours. But for somebody who's going to buy it, I have to say, it's good for you. You eat it, and after this, you become better. So it's a completely different mindset for me, at least. So you go through this process and you get a little bit more used to thinking about commercialization of all of this. So we had a product that is TRL4, which is actually, yeah, it just came out of the lab. We had some sort of proof of concept, but nothing else above this. So people are not that interested in something to buy if it's not ready, and something else already does exist somewhere else. So yours has to be much, much better, and you have to prove that it's better. So we went on to this commercialization reactor because we wanted to, we wanted to see what this world looks like, how we can meet entrepreneurs, and how we can get maybe some money for some sort of startup. But this was only an idea, not an intention, not a strong intention, but an idea. So we had this whole team that was of scientists that was also participating in the patent application, in the development of the product for patenting. It was a big team, so okay, we went there. So Nikolai told you a little bit about this commercialization reactor, and for me, the most funny thing is the TRL Valley of Death. And yeah, we were in this Valley of Death with our product because not developed enough, but still developed enough to know that we have something good on our hands. So we had to find a partner that would be interested in selling this. Not selling it like you go to the store and buy it, of course, after some time you do this, but selling it in a sense of he can bring it to the wider population and get more money to also develop it, and of course to have a concrete product in the end. So this commercialization, it was of course again challenging, but hard and fun. So for me, I had my first pitch for Nikolai and his colleagues, and they said everything was great, but everything is wrong. All of our slides too much. You have too much of science. You have this goes out. You have to tell how great the team is and how your product is perfect. And you have to talk about all of these things. And I was a little bit shocked. Like, okay, I thought my presentation was really, really good, but it's not in the same sense. It's a completely different field. I have been working on scientific presentations for 10 years. It's really hard to just switch it over. But it's fun. It's really fun when you find out how you can actually do it and how your mind is a little bit changing its perspective about this. So they coached us. They were also great help. It's weird how you can actually go through this process of development and somebody is guiding you, and you actually have the feeling that you're struggling all the time, but you're doing really well. And the end product is in a very short time is really, really good. So this commercialization event, for me, when I was talking to my colleagues and friends, I told them it's something like Eurosong, but for scientists. You come there and you sing your song, you tell your story or something, and somebody is evaluating you. On the other side, there's people, evaluators and entrepreneurs that might be interested in you or not. Who knows? Or what my opinion is that stuff like new drugs and mechanical things, technical things are popular. Biological things that we had are not as much. First, I think because people don't understand it that well. The second, I think it's a little bit more complicated to develop such a product further and also sell it. I'm not really sure about this point, but this was actually the feeling that I was getting. People were talking to us, but none of them were really happy, except for Carlis. And he, after that, he started working with us, and now we're actually starting this startup with him. He is the entrepreneur who is guiding all of these things. So I don't have any interest in opening my own company and developing this company. I have no idea how to do it. I don't know how to tell somebody to give me money to sell something. But Carlis does. He's from a completely different field, so nothing with biology, but he understood what we were selling and he was happy about it. He had the idea that this could be great. He went on to research the market a little bit further, and he saw a lot of money for himself, because for him, it is about the money. For us as a scientist, for me, it's not really. I'm not really sure if in 5, 10, or 15 years, I'm going to get the money of this, anything. Maybe yes, maybe not, but probably all of it is going to go back to research. But for him, it is. So he actually wants this to work, and he will tell you how to do it. So this is why you need a partner. If you are not that person, you need a partner for that. And it's really great to be connected to somebody who has, when they see your pitch, they get an idea. And they're developing it further. So they have something to gain from it, and they will be very enthusiastic about this. If they're not, I don't think we should work with them, but our Carlis is very enthusiastic. I should tell you also all of this was happening during Corona times, online. We met online, all of our meetings were online, everything. This was a little bit maybe harder because you have to trust the person that is working with you. You're giving your baby, your science, you're giving it to somebody to sell. And you still have to work with them a lot of time. A lot of your free time after that goes into working with your entrepreneurial partner. So you kind of have to like this person, and they have to like you also. So it's not only about the product, but it's actually about the people also. So in all of these processes, we came to find out that maybe as a team of scientists, not everybody wants to have a company. So this was the second revelation for me after the elevator pitch and the market research. So everybody that was involved in the patent, in the product, they don't have to be in the company. It's not, so you have a license, you have your patents, you will have your license, and this is a separate thing. what is important is your enthusiasm to work, to give your free hours for some time for the development of this product. So how important is this for you? If it's not, don't go into it. If it is, and for me it is, I'm extremely enthusiastic about this, and I'm really happy every time something new happens. So I decided to stay, a few of us decided to stay, a few decided to go, which was a very good, it is a good thing. It is not a bad thing if somebody decides to leave. It's a bad thing if somebody decides to stay and they don't want to participate. So make sure that you have a team that you trust on your hands. This is also, so you do have a product, but it's not only about this. It's a lot of different layers for everybody, I think. Okay, so we opened this company, we have the startup, and at this point we're still TRL4, so we cannot do anything with it. So we went again with Simona, and she told us about different ways how to get money, how to meet different people. We got some additional money from the university again to develop further a little bit. We are getting, but now we're getting money from the university as scientists for the development, but we now have a different angle. We are now also getting money from the company for further development. This company, so our partner, is searching for additional money all of the time. Every time we need something, we know what we need to do. He goes out, he searches for more money. He is involved in more incubators, with a lot of different, talking to a lot of different people, going to congresses and a lot of different things, only to get us more money. So this is something that somebody else does for you. I actually feel like he's doing me a huge favor. Of course, it's his company. It's not a favor, it's his job, but for me, it is a favor because I would not do this. This is, for me, it's very, very stressful. And we're all at the university. 150%. We're all working a lot, and it's really, really hard to take a lot of time out of this university. So you have limited free time, and you do spend some of it on your new company, but you cannot spend all of it because you have to sleep sometime and eat and still have fun. So this is why this commercialization reactor for me was a good thing. Meeting Carlis, our partner, was a good thing because he took a huge burden from us about this. I don't think I would be able to move in this commercialization if it wasn't for him. So we're now in the steps of registering product, doing different research that we still have to do just to develop the product so that we can sell it. And it's really tough. In your mind, your product is done. I know it's working, it's done. In my head, it was done. And then you actually find out, no, it's really like below the standards. And now you have to jump until it's more done and still not finished. So you meet a lot of people, but still, I think for each product, this will be a different story. For ours, it's a probiotic, it's a biological product, it's a little bit different, but still, I do believe that Simona and her team will actually know how to guide you through all of this, because I know that they are not microbiologists and they're not biotechnologists, but they still were guiding us very well and connecting us to companies and also other people that can help us do a lot of these things. So I think this is it for now from us. We're still not selling our probiotic, but we are in the stage of applying for registration, which is again huge leap for us. In 1 year, I think it's amazing development actually. So if you do have any questions about any part of this story or process, of course you can ask me. But yeah, this is my personal experience. This is what I imagined all of the time and what I felt during this whole process. But it is very, very fun to think that your science is going to be sold somewhere in the market. So thank you.